So in this video, I'm going to show you how I do some old school prospecting. So here's the deal. I want to run a cold calling campaign so that I can find some companies to run a taster session for my advanced business development workshop, because I'm trying to get some feedback before this program goes live. I've found the East Tamaki business directory, and what I'm going to do is just start from A, scroll through, find companies that look like they could have a sales team, and I'm going to start cold calling them.
Welcome to Tim speaking.
Yeah, hiya Tim. Hey, mate, my name is Varun. I'm calling from an East Tamaki business here called Synergy Consulting.
Yep.
Mate, look, in my business, I do sales training, and I'm just trying to do some research. It's only for companies that have a sales team. Do you guys have a sales team?
No.
You don't have a sales team?
No.
Okay, so that's one of the companies. I call them up, specifically take them through the reason why I'm calling, who I am, and I'm trying to qualify it. So there, he doesn't have a sales team, right? This company's really only got maybe one or two people that go out and speak to customers, and because of that, they're actually not on the list. I'll send Tim a little bit of value because he's been really good to me and given me his time. Time is the most valuable thing that people can give you. If you get somebody on the phone, you want to make sure that you are returning some sort of value to them. Otherwise, you're wasting their time. You're using up their time. My name is Varun. How are you going?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Hey, I was wondering if you can point me in the right direction, please. I'm calling from an East Tamaki business called Synergy Consulting. I'm looking to do some research for one of my programs, and I'm looking for companies with a sales team.
Our sales team is spread out across the country.
They're spread out across the country? That's all right. Is it more than 8 people?
What I'll do is I'll pop you through to Bruce, our sales, our business manager. He'd be the best one to talk to.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Won't be a moment.
Cheers.
How can I help you?
Very good. Listen, my name is Varun. I'm calling from Synergy Consulting. We're a business based in East Tamaki here in Auckland. And I said to Lyndall that I'm doing some research for companies that have a sales team. And she said, we've got a sales team. They're all spread out. You want to speak to Bruce. And
yeah, okay. So we got...
So the research that I'm doing, I've got some sales training. I'm taking it public, which means anyone can come to it. But before I do that, I just want someone to give me some feedback, as in a sales team to give me some feedback.
Yep.
Now, with your reps that are spread out, tell me, do you have offices in those locations? Are they all just remote and work from home?
They're all home office.
Home office? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Listen, Bruce, is it okay if I grab your email address? I'll just send you through what it is. And
I am interested to talk to you.
Okay.
I want to get your around like that because I get people.
Of course you do. I understand.
And it's actually funny because I was just looking at an email from a guy out of
Hey, thank you for taking my call and giving me your time and sharing the information. I'm going to send you an email.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice one. Thanks. Bye. Okay, that's the second cold call that I made to another company. So first phone call I make, I get a company where no salespeople, just one person who does most of the selling. I'm going to send that person a little bit of value. Second phone call I make, get to the receptionist, take her through that I want to have a chat with somebody who might know or look after the sales team, get popped through to the sales manager. We've just had a 25-minute conversation around what are some of the problems he's facing with his sales team. I'm sending him information. I'm actually going to follow up Wednesday next week. He's given me a time. And yeah, it's as simple as that. Cold calling still works.
Number you have called is not currently active or is invalid.
So I'm going through this business directory, just looking at different listings where I can make a call. The challenge is sometimes I call companies and their phones don't work, or there just isn't enough information on their website to figure out what size of a company they are, how big their team might be. And so I have to make a judgment call. This actually takes a lot of time. Not only is it consuming selling time, but also some of those judgment calls that I make are just going to be wrong. Yes, good morning. My name is Varun, V-A-R-U-N. If someone could give me a ring back on 021 576 552, that would be lovely. Thanks for that. Okay, so here I've just left a message. I went through to the administration department because what I want to do is qualify. I want to figure out if this company actually has a sales team, a sizable enough sales team, because if they don't, then there's no point wasting a manager's time or a senior leader's time. This business directory is pretty bad. All right, it's interesting. So going through a business directory is tons of hard work. Okay, so I'm going through the business directory listing where initially I was looking at all the agricultural product supplies, etc. When I get to the automotive ones, you just end up with a whole lot of service providers. So the chances of actually being able to find high value or medium to high value, service providers, business to business and automotive, probably going to be very hard. It's not that it's not there, I just have to comb through it, which is a lot. It's a lot of time. It's very time consuming. So I'm going to let's go to building services. Just sending through some resources to some of the people that I call, because when they're giving me their time, I want to make sure that I'm matching that time with some sort of value, and I have that through my playbook.
If you would like to keep your place in the queue and be called back, please press 1.
Yeah, how may I help you today?
Yes, good morning. Listen, I was wondering if I can speak to Scott. Is he still the branch manager there?
Okay, and what was your call regarding?
I wanted to check with Scott around his sales team. Well, is Scott still...
What about it?
So my company, I'm doing some research, but it's only relevant for companies if they have a sales team of at least 8 people.
Hi there, Varun. Sorry about that. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a hold of Scott. So what I'll do is I'll forward him through your contact number and I'll ask that he returns your call as soon as possible to assist you.
Fantastic. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.
Bye. Yes, g'day. Mate, I was wondering if I can speak to Sean, please.
I can give you his mobile number if you want.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Morning, Sean speaking.
Hi, Sean. You're speaking with Varun. How you going?
Good, yourself?
Good, mate. I called the office and Bryce gave me your mobile to get in touch with you.
Oh, yeah?
Listen,
How can I help?
I'm calling from a business based in East Tamaki. It's called Synergy Consulting.
Yeah.
And when I was looking at your website, you've actually got the right size team for some research that I'm trying to do with sales teams.
Right.
Have you got a couple of minutes? Can I talk to you about that?
I'm just actually in Sydney at the moment at an expo. Can you give me a bell tomorrow?
Yeah. Hey, look. What time tomorrow if you're in Sydney today?
Around midday.
Midday? Okay. And what I'll do is
Yeah.
I'll flick you a quick email so that you know who is the person that's calling you.
Yep, okay, sounds good.
Nice one. Thanks, mate.
All right, thank you.
Cheers, Sean. Bye.
Cheers.
Okay, so here, this was an easier one, right? I go through that business listing, find a company. They've actually got pictures of all of their teams, their titles. They even have email addresses, but I want to speak to the person. I don't just want to send them an email. Otherwise, they're going to get a random cold email and it's going to get lost. So I call the office. One of the people shares his phone number. And so when I make that call, I make sure I mention how I got that person's phone number. It creates a little bit of familiarity. And then here, this person is actually away. They're out of the country. So rather than spend too much time on the phone with them, they've been kind enough to say, why don't you call me back tomorrow? What time? He's been clear on saying, call me back midday. Now my goal is to send them an email. All right, I'm going to reference the call so it's already warmed up, and then tomorrow I'll do a little bit of a follow-up, or I might actually do it the day after if they come back to me via email. That's my sales process. Okay, so I'm going to carry on doing this until I get a few more people that I can send some information to. This is day 2, and I'm going to carry on my cold calling today using that same East Tamaki business directory database. I'm going to take a slightly different approach today because I'm going to go through, find what might be my judgment companies, right? So these are the ones that I'm calling where there's enough information on the website to make them seem like they might have a sales team. I'm going to shortlist them into an Excel file, and then I'm going to start making some phone calls. So yesterday, I called 14 companies, and that was in 2 hours, right? Between 10 a.m. and midday. So out of those 14 companies, 9 of them were irrelevant. Either they didn't answer the phone, I had to leave a message, or with one of the companies, they asked me a few questions in terms of why I was calling, and they said they would pass on the message to a branch manager, and I didn't really hear back. That's okay. It's expected at a cold calling. So from those 14, 3 people that I spoke to had companies where either their sales team was really small or it was just one person. So because these people spent time with me on the phone, I've actually ended up sending them a sales resource which they can use to brush up on their sales skills, but otherwise not necessarily my target customer. And I got 2 warm leads. So one person, which was my second phone call, basically said, I'm looking for some sales training. Our team could definitely do with some development, and I'm really interested. I'm keen to have a chat with you. I do have somebody else that I was looking at as well, and very interested. Now, this is going to happen. So sometimes when we are cold calling, right, we are throwing a dart, hoping for it to hit a target. You're going to come across somebody that's interested in what you're delivering. And that's chance. There's no skill with that. I didn't expect this company to have that sort of a need. In fact, I'm not calling them up asking them if they need sales training. I'm just looking to see if they've got a sizable enough sales team, right? So I'm qualifying them. And then if they do, I want to speak to a sales manager or somebody that looks after that team to see if they'd be happy to give me some feedback on my program, right? So I'm doing that research, and as part of a fair exchange, they're going to get a little bit of sales training. So I'm going to carry on today, spend a couple of hours and see if I can make a short list of some of the companies that I'm going to call and then let's see how it goes. Just trying to research people as I'm calling them, it actually messes with the flow. I'd much rather just have a clean list. In business to business, so most of the companies I deal with, large scale, they've already got a very clear either set of accounts or they know exactly who they're calling. This is a whole lot easier. This process is about just starting cold. All right, so you don't even know who might be some of the companies that you're calling. You can follow this process. It's highly inefficient, but is it something that you can do? Absolutely. Yeah. So if you're somebody that's just looking for leads, maybe you're a small business, this might be the process that you can follow. Find a whole bunch of businesses, try and figure out who your target customer might be. Just get on the phone. All right. Okay, so let's go through these companies. And so here's the thing, when you are shortlisting companies, this is where a CRM is amazing. So I can actually go through while I'm shortlisting some of these companies and enter them into my CRM. I can put them down as leads. But the process of actually filling out all the fields in my CRM to put them down as leads and then start qualifying them, it's too lengthy, so I'm not going to do that. My CRM system is set up where any of my inbound leads, so when people make inquiries, when they book a call, etc., are automatically entered into my CRM with all the information. Then I can go through and call them super easy. Most B2B businesses, if you're sizable enough, should have this sort of a process, or you'll have some sort of automation. You're not going to be manually going through and entering all of these people in. I will happily enter in a warm lead. So if I come across a warm lead where they need to go into my CRM because I've got some cadence, sales cadence, right? Set of processes that I'm going to follow, they are definitely going to go into my CRM. I'm not going to stick them into a Excel sheet. Right now, I'm just putting them into an Excel sheet because I just want a short list of numbers that I can bang through, right? Okay, so I've just found a company. On their website, they actually have their sales team listed, and I can do a quick count. I can see that there are plenty of people that might be relevant, as in they are the right target customer. And now all I've got to do is just give a sales manager a call and have a chat with them. So some of these companies in the business directory are actually my customers. They've either done some business with me or I've worked with their sales teams. I'm not actually going to call them because that wouldn't be true cold calling. I have some sort of a relationship. I can name drop, so I can call out the person that I know there, and it's going to give me an easy conversation starter. I don't want to do that. I specifically want to cold call companies that don't know me and have never heard of me. So otherwise it wouldn't necessarily be cold calling, it would be warm calling. Anyone can do that. I've finished making my list. I've got 10 companies. I've narrowed down another 10 companies I'm going to call. And what I've done in my Excel sheet is I've just got their name, what's the URL to their website if the conversation goes any further, then a phone number that I can dial them on, and I've made an assessment. So if I can see that they've got a sales team listed and it looks like they're the right size, I've written that down. If not, I'm just making a judgment call whether I think they're a smallish business, a medium-sized business, or a big business. And that might be based on the photos they have on their website, physical buildings, etc., etc. And I'm going to start. And so I'm going to actually start calling the small companies first. It helps me get a little bit of practice in so that my cold call is smooth before I make it to the bigger companies, because they are the ones that should actually be saying yes to the conversation. Now, I don't want to be making calls and be hesitant in how I make it. I need to have already gotten a little bit of practice. And so to do that, I'll start with the smaller ones and then move forward to the bigger ones. Let's see how we go. first phone number I dial is a fax number. So that didn't go very well. Let me get my act together here. Okay, so second try. Not calling the fax number this time, actually calling their phone number. Yes, good morning. My name is Varun Dhani. I'm calling from Synergy Consulting.
Yeah, hi, how can I help?
Listen, we're a business based in East Auckland in East Tamaki, and I'm doing a little bit of research, but specifically for companies that have a sales team.
Yeah.
You do have a sales team? Fantastic. Now, I'd love to be able to have a chat with somebody and just ask them a couple of questions on it. Who would be the right person? Another question. So, how many reps do you have?
I'm not sure off the top of my head, but Tom will know.
Okay, no problems. And what was your name?
Andrea.
Andrea. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Cheers, bye. Okay, first phone call I make. So, in my assessment, when I had a look at this company's website, I was thinking, they look like they're a small company. Maybe they don't even have a sales team. Clearly, I'm wrong. Now, when I go through to the person, I'm slowly explaining why I'm calling, what I'm looking to achieve, etc. And so this person here was comfortable for me to say, yes, I've got a sales team, and here's the person that you want to call and have a chat with. Now, I ask her name because when I call the next person, so the person's phone number she's given me to, I'm going to say that Andrea asked me to get in touch with you. All right, and that's to create a little bit of familiarity. If I was just to call this person randomly on their mobile phone, it's a cold call. It's a real hard cold call, and it might not go well. So let's see what that does.
The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message.
Can't get through to the person, I am going to leave a message and have a chat with them when they call me back. Morning, my name is Varun. How you going?
Good, thank you.
Hey, I'm calling from a local business in East Tamaki here called Synergy Consulting.
Yeah.
Brian, I'm doing a little bit of research of companies that have a sales team. I just wanted to check if that's you.
You're speaking to him.
I love that. Hi, my name is Varun. How you going?
Good, thanks.
David, I'm calling from Synergy Consulting, which is based in East Tamaki. The reason I'm calling is because I'm doing some research of companies that have a sales team.
Well, it depends on the definition of a team.
I like it. Well, I guess if people are talking to customers, they're engaging with them, their job is to have a chat with them. I'd call them a sales person.
Yeah, no, but is the definition of team more than one person?
Yeah, so, ideally 5 or more.
Right, yeah, so no.
No. Okay, cool. All right. No worries. Thanks for that.
Okay, thanks.
Cheers, mate. Bye. Okay, so on that call, the person's saying, well, what's the definition of a team? Really good question. Because in small businesses, sometimes everybody's selling. As in, you can have a small team and everybody engages with a customer, but their job isn't to sell 100% of the time. Which is why, even though I'm looking for a team that's more than 8, I said, well, do you have more than 5 people? And because they're saying no, they're definitely not within the scope or even close to. Sometimes I'll come across a company where they might have 7 salespeople, 3 customer services people, and then a service manager that engages with customers, in which case, for the scope of what I'm looking for, it might be okay. So I'm making some of that judgment call without necessarily just giving up on some of these companies that are giving me some time. But here, it's been nice and clear. We had a nice discussion. I can strike them off the list. Okay, so after making some of those, this is my 3rd call. I'm feeling a little bit warmed up in terms of the flow. I can now start going to some medium-sized businesses and then the larger-sized businesses. That might be something that you want to do when you're cold calling. Start with some of the smaller ones, then you want to work your way up to the ones that might be your potential target, because you need to be really comfortable and clear when you're making these calls. Maybe some of these companies are thinking, wow, I'm getting phone calls, cold calls on a landline, or maybe it's a regular thing. I don't know. I can't say I get a lot of cold calls from people. Maybe your company gets a lot of cold calls. Is that still even a thing? Don't know.
Lovely. Have a good day, mate. Thanks for the call.
Cheers, mate. See ya. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Call this company, get the person on the phone. He's very polite, happy to have a chat with me, and go through and say, I'm doing this research, looking for companies that have sales teams. Yeah, we've got a few people. What's it about? Then I can go through and tell them a little bit more detail. If they don't have sales teams, there's no point me going into the pitch, because all I'm going to end up doing is consuming their time. They're going to feel like I'm trying to convince them, and I'm not looking to do that. So here this team's smaller than I would normally like, but the person's been kind enough to give me some time. I'm okay to give them some time. And so they've given me the email address, I'm going to send it through. So I call that a warm lead now.
Hello, Sean.
Morning, Sean. My name is Varun Dhani, and I'm calling from Synergy Consulting. Have you got a couple of minutes?
Yep.
Sean, my business is based in East Auckland, and I'm just doing some research with companies that are based in East Auckland that have sales teams.
Okay.
I was wondering if I could take a couple of minutes of your time.
Yeah, far away.
Cool. So in my business, what I do is sales training for sales teams. I've got a program that I'm launching, but before I do that, I'm looking to run a short segment of it with sales teams just to get a little bit of feedback.
Okay.
And the value is, your team experienced the program, specifically around selling on value. So, how do you retain margin? How do you increase revenue? And then I get some feedback as in how to go, how do they like the program, etc. It takes about an hour and a half, and I can do that both virtually or face-to-face. Is this something I can send you some information on?
Yeah, that'd be the best thing. Yeah, I can give me my email address if you like.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So it's Sean.co.nz.
Cool. All right, I'll send you through a link so you can see what it's about and a little bit about me because I've randomly called you.
Thanks.
And then I'll call back, maybe Wednesday next week just to see how you went.
Yeah, yep, sweet as.
Awesome. Thanks, Sean. Cheers.
Awesome.
Bye.
Cheers. Catch you. Thanks. Bye.
All right. So this company here had a sales team listed on their website. I can do a count. They're sizable enough. The sales manager's phone number's on the website as well. I could just call them, and I don't need to check to see if their team is big enough. I can see it. So then I'm going through hey, look, here's the research that I'm doing. This is the value of the program. High level, here's how it's going to work. Can I send you some information? Now, if they say, I don't want to, no, I'm not interested, I would still go through and say, cool, so that I don't call you back again next time. Take me through, just let me know why. Have you already got a provider, or are you not interested, or have you already done something? And then I can leave them to it. But in this instance, that person's not looking for a sales pitch. I want to check with them to see if they're happy to share their email address, because that's my next win. If they're happy to give me their email address, then I can send the information through. And then here I've signposted that I'm going to call them up mid next week. So 2 working days later, just to see if they've got the information, and maybe we can schedule something in. So let's see how I go. That's a win. I like that. Here's how, even if you've been selling for a long time, you get things wrong. I make the phone call, I get through to somebody who's happy to say, here is the person that you want to speak to, and call back. Now, I didn't check to see if the person could transfer me, and so they didn't say that person was on the phone. And so I hang up, and then I call back again because I get that same person, and I think, oh, I thought I was going to get through to Garth, and they said, no, he's on the phone. So sometimes I could do a better job, clearly, in articulating what's in my head, because it wasn't clear as to why he was asking me to call back. Right, so onwards. I'm going to carry on making different phone calls and then come back to this person in about 30 minutes time.
I'll try his line, otherwise even if you flick them an email, it's just .co.nz.
Yeah, no problems. And what's your name?
My name is Ashley.
Ashley, thank you. Apologies, I missed that before. Yeah, I'd love to have a chat with Darren, because if I send him an email, he's going to think I'm being a bit random.
Okay, we'll try his one. Here we go, popping through.
Lovely, thanks.
Our world, we're not really sales teams.
Right.
To be absolutely honest with you, you need to actually be speaking probably to somebody in the
Residential?
in the wholesale side of the business, because I mean.
And thank you for taking me through what the structure is, because the short segment is ideal for a team of 8 people. So
Right.
That works well. All right, I'll call back and get Kim's details and see if I can chat with her. Nice one.
No worries. Thanks, Ed.
Awesome. Thanks, Darren. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
So what I'm going to do now is craft up my emails, which is just sending these people a little bit of information on what is it that I was calling about. I already signpost with them that I'm going to call them back in 2 or 3 business days, so Wednesday or Thursday next week, and then I'll make my follow-up phone calls on those emails just to see how things are going. Across 2 days, 2 hours worth of calling each day, maybe 3 if I go through and do all the research around who I'm going to call. I've made a total of 24 phone calls, out of which I have 6 odd people that are the right size, as in their teams are the right size, so they're the right flavor for what I'm looking to offer, and they've said yes to receiving information. Whether these people actually go through and go ahead with the tasting session or not, I don't know just as yet, but at the moment, went through a process of finding some businesses cold. These are people I don't know, and then through a little bit of assessment, making a short list of the companies that I was going to call. I've given them a phone call and gone through either the receptionist, the admin, other people, etc., found the right people to speak with. So I didn't have discussions with administrations, for example, because they don't have the ability to make the call. Go through to all the national sales managers, etc. And they've agreed to give me their email address so I can send them some information. So the work from here is I'll continue following up into next week, because I've said to them I will, and then I find out which of the people have actually confirmed, and then I'll work with them to deliver the sessions. That's, I guess, the process I go through. If you're looking to make cold calls, if you're looking to find net new business, you need to have a little bit of a criteria. Find companies that match that criteria, do as much research as possible, make sure you're clear in your head what is it that you're trying to say on the phone, and then start making those phone calls. The key message here is I wasn't trying to sell them sales training or sell the wrong person the value of the program. I'm purely looking to qualify to make sure that the companies actually are the right fit before I find who the right person is that I need to speak to, and then they are the ones that I discuss. So if you're looking to do some phone calls, make some cold calls, this is the process that you can follow. I've just done it literally cold, from scratch, got 6 leads that I'll follow up on, and let's see how many of them actually turn into sales.